Ladies and gentlemen, it's your friend Mike Brady from Oceanliner Designs. Now, a couple of months ago, I sat down with the Titanic Honor and Glory producers and 3D modelers to walk through their incredible recreation of Titanic in the virtual world. And one of the most interesting rooms that we looked at in our tour of first class was Titanic's gymnasium. I'm sure we've all seen the photographs of the gym on Titanic, and it's very hard to make out what these machines were actually used for. At the time, this was all cutting-edge technology, but today, if you walked into a gymnasium, there are quite a few things in there that you wouldn't expect to see. Some things haven't changed, like the weight pulley machine and the rowing machine, but there are a few things in there that I was really scratching my head at. Fortunately, I had the genius minds of the Titanic Honor and Glory team to lead me through the confusion. So I present to you a cut-down highlight of that live stream, a small tour of Titanic's bizarre first-class gymnasium. Let's follow Kyle's suggestion and go and check out the gymnasium, because this is a very interesting space and not immediately recognizable as a gym. The only thing that stands out to me is saying, hey, this is a gym, is the punching bag.
Now, what we need to do is have Matt, I think, talk about some of the really weird machinery that's in this room.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. So yeah, there's a bunch of machines. I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 of this guys. So back, it's the turn of the century. The Edwardians are somewhat on a health craze, for instance, and I'm just call him Dr. Xander. You can look him up. He has created these crazy contraptions. Some make sense, some don't.
Yep.
But for instance, the ones that are in the back corner, back aft, inward corner are just riding machines, sometimes called the electric camel, electric horse. There's one for men, there's one for female. You sit on them, you just go up and down, you trot, basically, like you're on a horse or on a camel. That's pretty standard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then if you go to the ones that are by the window aft, this is all one machine, and it's an abdomen rubbing machine.
It looks like a torture device.
Yeah, you're just standing up. You stand in the machine itself, and there's like pads where I guess the pads are rubbing against your stomach, and
wow.
you flip the switch, and you let it rub your abs, I guess. Yeah, or back in this is the turn of the century. If you're a gentleman who suffers the gout or any other illness, but yeah, that's an abdomen rubbing machine, and he's labeled all of these because it's a very efficient method of construction. That's abdomen rubbing machine J6, and those were riding machines F2, and behind the abdomen rubbing machine is a back rubbing machine where you lie down and you flip a switch and it rubs your back.
Yeah.
See, this is exercise, guys. This is what you do.
They still sell these on like those little networks, well, equivalents. Nowadays you see like an ad on Facebook and they say new exercise regime, and it's just a machine that massages abs out of you, supposedly.
Oh yeah, so yeah, that's the benefit here is the motion on the muscles is what was considered a part of the health treatments.
Unreal.
I believe on this machine you lay with your you lay down on it.
Yeah.
And good luck. You just have it just rubs you like everything else. there's all these exercise equipments are just to help to make the blood flow to add to the movements of the muscles, and that's what the back rubbing machine J5 does. And then the next one forward between the windows is the more interesting one. Interesting, the name, trunk rotating machine. I want you to go look at it, and I want you to, Mike, to explain how you think you would, for lack of a better word, mount this one.
All right, so I'm seeing it. We've got a belt. So we've got a little electric motor driving a belt that is driving a wheel. So
we've got a little curved leather padded thing with a handle.
So, yeah. So which way do you face? I mean, like I guess you sit on that on the curved leather,
Yeah.
of the seats, which
Yeah.
is, yeah.
So you sit on it and trunk rotating machine. I honestly, I cannot even imagine how this thing works. I'm gonna say
And which way does it move? What is the motion? Is it up and down motion? Is it side to side? Does it just go forward, back? Which way does it go up and down?
you know what? I'm thinking it's going side to side. So on the ship it would be sliding forward and aft.
Okay, yeah. For the most that I know of it, because I'm not an expert in the Xander apparatuses, it's you do sit on it facing the wooden frame, and you kind of put your hands on your hips, and it moves side to side and up a little bit. So I can't recall like what the benefit of it is, but you're essentially like swaying as it's imagine you're on a horse as well, and it's kind of like it's working your abdomen again. So it's the trunk itself is you are the trunk, and it's
Right.
and you're rotating as it's going up and down into the sides. So the whole thing is like moving, and you're trying to stay kind of stationary. So what is that exercise? The Russian twists? It's kind of like that, maybe. It's nice. There is a whole museum where you can see these. They've collected as many of these pieces of exercise equipment still, and they actually function. Like the next one, more forward, is the vibration machine. Yeah, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
I'm not making it up. I believe you just sit on it. You sit on the stool, and you put whatever you want to shake on the part that shakes, like your legs. You can raise it up, and you can put different like parts of your body on it. If those shake and raise, the shake. It's good. It's good to move your arms and your legs to shake out the gout. I guess I don't know, but it's the vibration machine. That's what this is.
Remarkable. But these little electric motors aren't very loud.
Mm-mm. They're not like making like a noise like a air compressor or anything. They just be going. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Just a dull hum.
this machine you could just sit on the chair, lift up your legs, put it on that little suspended part there, and it would just shake. I think that's what that generally does. So yeah, that's the majority of the machines. The rest are kind of normal. You have which aren't actually connected to this Dr. Xander who created all these bizarre ones. You have the rowing machine, the hydraulic, the rowing machines in the middle, the pulley weight machines, which are by the illuminated display, which is more or less like a pulling the weights. You have the cycle exercisers, one for men and one for female to sit on. So you can't have you and your friend if you're both boys or both girls. I guess you can't do it at the same time because I guess that's the rules. Because one's for men and one's for female. Sorry.
Was gym time segregated by gender?
Yeah, they had. Go to the door and read the rules of the gym.
Sorry, I
think it's on there.
I'm just getting ahead of myself. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
So I'm
gotta read the
supposing that's
rules.
what these wooden screens are for then.
Yeah, it's the gym could get stuffy if you're using the trunk rotating machine, you're gonna break a sweat. So you gotta open the windows,
Right.
for ventilation. But you don't want to let everyone who's walking by just see in perfectly. You don't want to see them going in their full Edwardian dress,
Yeah.
sweating.
That's amazing.
So that's what the screen's for. Mhm.
Yeah, you're preserving modesty. I mean, it would have been
Yep.
unthinkable to allow anybody to see, I'm sure, that taking place, especially for women. So that explains
Yep.
a lot about those screens. Well, what a horrifying room. No, it's funny. The pulley weight machines are pretty recognizable. I mean, these you
They
would
are,
see
yeah.
in a gym today, right?
Mhm.
That's incredible.
The pulley weight machine and the bicycles are the most. I guess the punching ball are
The punching bag, the rowing
ones that
machine.
The funny thing is, the pulley weight machine was one of the last pieces of equipment to be installed. There's a photo of Titanic's gym where they're not even there.
Hmm.
Yeah, right. And Titanic and Olympics gyms were identical. Is that right?
Oh no,
Titanic didn't get any extra equipment?
the equipment was pretty different on the two, just the arrangement of them, and then Olympic eventually got different pieces of equipment over time. On her maiden voyage, I don't think she had all of the. Her gym was rather sparse when she left for her maiden voyage in June of 1911, it seems, and then they eventually gave her everything that Titanic had. There's a few missing pieces of equipment that we don't have in our gym that we believe Titanic had. For instance, right by the door to the boat deck, where we have space by that vibration machine, there should be a weighing chair similar to the one that's down in the Turkish bath cooling room, so that you can see how much weight you have lost from your gym experience. There's also a height
exercise.
Yep. You know, your 10 minutes in the gym. There's also a height recording machine. So you know, it's basically just a 1912 measuring stick with something to tap you on the head. And also in the space between the two forwardmost windows were wrist exercisers, where you just pulled them out of the wall and they just were attached by wires, and you just pull them out. And those were right there in the wall of the ship. And I'm doing the motion. I don't know why I am. It's not like you can see me, but yeah, it's just something to exercise your wrists.
Probably one of the most interesting rooms on Titanic.
Can I say one quick thing?
Yeah, please.
I'm curious. I've always wondered, why would they have a weighing machine and a height machine? Like, how, do you grow when you exercise? You lose weight that instantly. But I wonder if it might be just a way for them to measure back then, for them to measure someone's body mass index, because we've heard news recently about how terrible of a metric that is for measuring someone's fat, but that was invented way back in like the 19th century, and it would have been this big thing where people were like, oh yeah, your BMI is this, that. I just wonder if they would have used it to figure out that.
I would swear I recall reading, and by the way, there are tons of these around my city, old Edwardian weighing machines that you can pay, a coin, just put a little coin in, and it would, give you your weight reading. I remember reading about a school of thought around health at the turn of the century that throughout the day there was weight loss and weight gain, and that it was somehow linked to your overall health, and that frequent measuring before and after, so in the context of the Turkish bath, before and after bathing would give a read on the impact to your health. I don't know exactly how it worked, but my understanding was that, yeah, there was a general, like, keeping track of your weight, and also the like some kind of read on general health, like we would call BMI today, but also like specifically before exercise, after exercise, gauging if there was any change, which you just wonder, would there have been? Like, it's such a archaic kind of thought process, but it's just interesting. That was so like, this must have all just been cutting edge. I mean, previously I don't think anyone would have been keeping track of it, right?
But it's all somewhat of like the man who created all these bizarre machines, it's all just feeding into the craze that happened in the turn of the century. So it's
somebody pointed out the dial on the wall. I don't think we mentioned before. One last thing for the gym is, well, there are a couple of things. We never mentioned the display board, but that's not super important. We've spent years debating what that map looks like, and we have someone right now who's working on a more and more detailed and accurate version of the little ship cutaway that's on the display board. But someone in the chat pointed out, oh, what's that big dial thing? Is that a clock? No, it's a thing that measures distance. They had these two bikes. There was one designed for men, one designed for women. They had to do that back then. And you could race each other. The little board told you, little dials spun around, and it told you how much distance you traveled. And it's kind of cool. Like, there's a photo of, I believe it's Jack Thayer, when Titanic was in port, Southampton. They let second-class passengers. Yeah, they let second-class passengers
Lawrence
And,
Beasley.
yeah. Oh, Lawrence Beasley. Yeah, that's him. And so they let second-class passengers and friends tour first class. And so there's a picture of Lawrence Beasley sitting on one of these bikes with his friend sitting on the other bike, and it's neat. They would just use the bikes to race while getting a little exercise.
It's kind of like pointing out your bike's position on the velodrome, essentially, and you've got clearly a white marker and a red marker. You've got a white wheel bike and a red wheel bike, so it's just kind of... It reminds me of an arcade video game. It's cool. It's like
essentially, yeah.
Yeah, early 20th century arcade game that's also an exercise machine. Very forward thinking.
Makes it fun. Yeah, the reason for the segregated bikes is, and the same with the electric camels where horses in the back, one's for ladies and one's for gentlemen, is because, the positioning of side saddle, sitting on a bicycle is different for ladies versus gentlemen. That's why it's not segregated, because of all the other reasons why people were segregated back in that day. That's the reason why. Just to throw that out there.
Basically,
dresses and shoes and corsets, etc. That's all. That's all, guys. All right.
That's interesting.
So there you have it. I sure learnt a lot from that walk around. I had spent a lot of my life actually looking at pictures of Titanic's gym, especially things like the trunk rotating machine and those other ones over on the side there. And I was kind of scratching my head wondering how they might have worked. Let me know down in the comments if you found this video interesting and if you learned something new. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your friend Mike Brady from Oceanliner Designs. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a comment below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel because we get new videos out weekly. If you want to support my work and get really cool perks like behind the scenes and early access, please visit my Patreon in the link in the description below, or sign up as a YouTube member. Come and join the crew. And as always, stay safe, stay happy, and I'll see you again next time.